Life is a lot like beekeeping. Beekeeping isn't easy, and at times can be downright tough. Sometimes you feel like you're on an island, that you're not making a difference, and that you're on your own. But just remember, the darkest hour is just before dawn. There are those out there shining a light, being the change, and being a lighthouse. You're not alone. There's an incredible community of folks who want to help, who want to lift you up, and want to see you do well. Like the honeybee is to the hive, we're better together. With hard work, if we work together, and with a little help from above, all things are possible. It's not just about keeping bees. It's about being our brother's keeper. Be the lighthouse. Well, hey guys, welcome back to another Stream Team Beekeeping Chat. So glad everyone could join in tonight, hang out with us as we talk about bees and present a survival guide to the Bee Expo. Whether it's your first time going, whether you've been there before, we're going to talk about some tips and tricks to make it through, to be successful. It's a big deal, some things to think about. Bruce, Brian, glad to have you guys on tonight. It's it seems like we're on the footsteps of the big Bee Expo. We're going to be seeing each other in person, so it's kind of interesting. Here we are live, face to face, via streaming, and in just a short time we'll be face to face in the same room again. Be pretty cool. Brian, how are things going on your neck of the woods?
I tell you, up here there's really not much going on. So Fondant is on. I'm riding the cold wave. So I was looking at the temperatures today. Just we had one of like the lake effect. We were on like the southern edge of some of that lake effect pattern that was coming off of Lake Erie, and I just thought, oh man, because I mean, like I looked out, and half an hour later I look out again, and it's like you can't even see across the field, and I'm just like, more of the white stuff, you know. But I looked at the forecast, and I think we're going to be under 40 for like the next, it's like, I don't know, like 8 or 9 days or something like that, 10 days. And then we've got 3 days where it's going to be like 49, 50, 49. So that right there, now it's just after, we'll be after the solstice, but that'll be my quick shot where I'll zip through, and probably the only thing that I'll do in my apiary besides, checking on fondant and things like that, clearing off entrance boards, will be doing around a OAV when we get that warm spell. So yeah, but and I'm not upset with this cold that we're having, just because I'd rather have a steady, consistent cold like this so that the girls stayed hunkered down. I think there will be a lot more winter success up here with a winter like this versus the roller coaster like we've had. So
yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think that drought and nutrition and overall health, I think, are going to still play into winter survival for folks. But hopefully your bees make it through. It's kind of interesting to think about, Brian, if you can remember back your first couple of years of beekeeping, you weren't thinking about bees right now at all. You're not even you're just sitting there thinking, oh, I can't wait till it's spring and I'm working bee. And now once you get into it and you're into the thick of bees, like there is not a month that goes by where there is not something that needs to be done. And even in the fall and winter time up here in Ohio, there are still times where it's go time. And that's the same thing here. We've had a couple of 50-degree days, 54-degree days, and it's fondant time. It's OA time. It's it doesn't stop. But Bruce, how are things going down for the Dothan Shogun down in the Dothan, Alabama area?
It's going okay. First of all, man, that intro is just classic, man. It's so awesome. I love that intro. I remember when you put that thing together when we were first starting to do these things, and wow, what a great intro, especially leading up to the conference. But just kind of brings back into focus what this is all about. So
absolutely,
I love it. The Western Call song is incredible, and then the way you did that was just incredible. Well, it's I'm looking on my phone right here. The high today was 77.
Stop it! Come on.
But I was inside, pretty much all day. So, but we're going to have highs in the 50s here in a couple of days and lows in the 30s. So it's just up and down. It was drizzling a little bit today, I think, outside. And so after it drizzles and rains in the wintertime, it always gets chilly or more cold than it was before. So that's what we're dealing with weather-wise. This past weekend, I putting fondant on everything, treated them all with OAV for the second dose. Going to hit them 4 weeks in a row with OAV, and that's kind of, we're in that holding pattern. Dropped a video today of my trip out there, mainly focusing on Bracken and his place, his little homestead out there with the farm, and I think you guys will enjoy watching that if you haven't had a chance to see it yet. It's really just a fun video. Bracken's just a good guy, and we had it just blows me away. Like when I came to your place, Greg, and when I go out there just to different people's places and see their operation, how you have a concept in your mind of how it looks, and you kind of try to figure it out. But when you go there and you see how it's all laid out, really, it's just nothing like what you think it's going to look like when you watch it on video. It's just different. Like I always thought, like, he shows all those hives out there. They're in California now, but when he shows his main spot where most of his hives are for his videos, it looks like it's right at the base of the mountains, but it's really several miles from the base of the mountains. And so you just kind of get an idea. It's still beautiful, but you get an idea of how far everything is in a relationship with each other. It was really cool. And Bracken's just a good dude. It was fun. We had a good time out there doing that. But really just gearing up. We got the conference here in just a couple of weeks, so it's coming right on up. And beyond that, just I got fondant on most of my colonies last weekend. Didn't get a chance to get on all of them this week. I'll put it on the rest of them. And I'm going to try and put a video out here in the next few days showing how that went. It was actually surprisingly good. I thought the bees were doing a little worse than they were down there at Appleton Farms. I guess feeding them all late summer and fall did some good. So they're not the strongest colonies I've ever had, but they're most of them are looking pretty good. The ones that have survived this point are looking pretty good. So exciting stuff. But yeah, it's down here. You can't just take you can, but it's not advisable to take just a complete break from them. You got to do something here or there. At least in my case, I try to stay in them here or there just a little bit year round.
No, it won't be long, and you'll have plants blooming and the ground coming alive, the trees coming alive, the birds coming alive. I imagine though your songbirds and things, you probably don't have quite the big change that we like right now when we have. If you hear birds, it's those winter songbirds. The kind of I'm not an expert on all things birds, but there's they change different sounds, different types of birds. When you see them, it's more of the hunkered down winter type birds that we see here. But it all changes with the grand entrance of the first robin. You know, when we first see that first robin early in the year, you know, dandelion, forsythia, all that, and then it just explodes. You know.
Yeah, we it's, you know, like I think a lot of the northern birds come down here, but it's never completely quiet. But it's different in the wintertime, I think, especially when it's cold, everything just hunkers down, you know. But when on a warm day like today, I'm sure there's some things going on. And then, you know, we'll have the robins really pretty soon. Probably, I don't know exactly when they come through, but they come through, and probably, I guess we'll see maybe in January, maybe early February. I'm not sure when it is, but I know we also have these great big clouds of blackbirds. I'm not sure what kind of birds they are, but they fly like in patterns. It's like thousands of them. It's really cool to see. They kind of pass through, and but everything down here, I'm sure, is, you know, it's a little bit later in the wintertime because they're coming down, or in the summertime. You know, they're down here. You know what I'm saying? We see everything earlier in the year than you guys do, I would imagine, because they're going south and getting ready for winter, and going north, getting ready for the spring and summer. So, but we probably have some wild mustard is probably I haven't really looked closely, but we're real close if it's not already up. It's just some people call it wild radish, wild mustard. I'm not sure if it's the same thing or if it just has a different name, but it's all in a lot of the fields around here. It grows up, and it provides pollen. You know, if you got bees near it, it provides pollen almost year round. Don't think it brings in a lot of nectar, but there's, you know, they're bringing in pollen right now. Saturday or Friday when I was out there in them, and Saturday a little bit, there's pollen on some of their legs. Not a lot. It's not like they're just packing it in, but they're almost always bringing something in. Not nectar. That's the problem. You know, they're out there working, find some pollen, but there's very, very little, if any, nectar coming in this time of year. But they find pollen somewhere. It's crazy.
It won't be long, and we'll be saying things like maple pollen and maple bloom, and it'll be here. The Bee Expo seems to be the beginning of the beekeeping season, really, because by the time we get past this huge hump of getting equipment built and getting it dipped and getting it there and get past all that, and it's a pretty significant workload. And then you get past that and you get back, and there's no time to be like, it's because now you're into, okay, all the orders and all the orders that you took and things, orders that all of these and just rapid fire, boom, 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 boom. And then it feels like you're not sitting around and waiting on the weather to happen. The weather just happens, and now here's spring, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's March already, you know? But here we are, it's January already, and it still feels like, in my mind, I'm still out there cracking lids and doing this and hunting for favorite queens and like it just time keeps going by so quick.
Yeah,
and the older that I get, I'm still a young guy, but the older that I get, the faster time seems to be flying. But
sure.
Don't even get me started. That's a conversation for a different day. Time is like a river. Anyways, but Chris Madera's checking in, tipping his hat to Captain Printastic. Chris Madera's one of the super minds, super geniuses, circus wranglers behind the scenes with the Bee Expo. So shout out to Chris and all the everything he does. They've got a great crew this year. I've got to work with Chris, Jeremy Lindsay, and Jake Osborne. They're working hard behind the scenes to try to make Cayman look as good as possible. Keep everything high and tight, keep everything organized, and they are really doing a good job. So as a vendor, I really appreciate Chris and Jeremy and Jake Osborne, all the work that they're doing. So hats off to you fellas for all your hard work. Chris, if you think of it in all caps, if there are 3 things that you want to make sure that folks consider, 3 survival tips for the Bee Expo from Chris Madera's himself, put them in the comments here and we'll make sure to get them up on the screen. Tonight, we're going to talk about how to survive the Bee Expo. And I know that sounds outlandish, but you got to consider this thing is massive. The footprint inside this vendor, if there were no speakers, if there were no contests, if this was simply a trade show, it's still a feat to survive that, to get through it, to keep on point. It's big. Even the trade show outside of all of the footsteps and going back and forth with all of the all those kind of things there. So Brian and I had great minds think alike. We've check out this inside footprint here. And we're gonna actually get into this a little bit tonight on kind of some things to think about and who's who and where's where. I'll kind of throw out some of my favorite vendors that I'm looking forward to jumping over, taking a look at, seeing. I was going through the list and there's like 15, 16 vendors that we are very tight with, that we do a lot of collaborating with. I think next year we might just want to have like the Nature's Image stream team collaboration quadrant, where it's like a quarter of the entire place is nothing but all of our people all put together, all in the same area. It would be really cool. And that way we don't have to spend so much time going back and forth and stepping away from our booths there too. But it would be kind of cool. So tonight we're going to talk about some of those survival tips, some things that we all do individually to make sure that we can make it through this thing, how to stay on point, how to stay organized, some things to consider, some things to think about. If you've not been to this thing yet, there's a lot going on here. If you have been to this, maybe we can share some things that may help you get the most out of this experience. And if you have been here before and you have any hot tips on helping folks, if you would please leave those in all caps. That way we can star it and make sure to get those comments acknowledged. But that would be so cool to hear from everybody and make sure that we get all that going. Tonight we're also going to talk. We're going to have a couple special guests coming on. Philip RTX is going to be on, and the Sosmans are going to be on. Philip has a great initiative to collaborate with Hives for Heroes, and since Hives for Heroes, we're right across the aisle from them. We want to make sure that we help rep and promote the things that they're doing too. So they're going to be on about 8:30 or so. We're going to have them on, talk about that initiative. That is really cool. But how do you start to explain Bee Expo to somebody who has never been to Bee Expo? It's going to be it's kind of an interesting. Shiminy Christmas. It's kind of a different thing to kind of, you say it. Oh, are you a beekeeper? Okay, yeah. Imagine all of the shiny stuff, all of the stuff that is just going to help you with your beekeeping journey, all in one place for you to go look at, pick up, ask questions directly from the folks who produce it, manufacture it. It's their business. It's their families that are working hard. You get to see things in a completely different light. And the most important thing is you get to put a face behind the product. Now, hopefully you never have to call somebody because you have a problem with the product. But what if you've got questions? What if you want to order more? To me, it's really awesome to be able to know the face and the family, the story behind the business. That's a big deal. And this is one of the very few opportunities where you can actually do that. You can be there in person to learn more. On top of the trade show, I don't even know how many total vendors there are, but it seems like at least 14 trillion are all in the same spot here with, and there might be some crossover, there might be some similar products all throughout there, but there are a lot of very unique, very individualized products here that you won't find anywhere else. And so that part is really cool. So the initiative we're going to talk about with Philip and the Sosmans about the Hives for Heroes initiative. We're going to get into individually some tips and tricks to make it through the Bee Expo. We're going to highlight some comments, and we're going to talk about the Nature's Image Farm booth. Some really exciting things going on with that. We'll go into that first. There is some really cool stuff going on at our booth that have the likes of which have never been seen, Brian. They've never. Everyone is. They've never been. Seriously, what is really neat, the collaborations. We always say bees are the conduit to the people, and it has never been more apparent than that. So there's our booth. Brian's got it zoomed in. Literally, you come right in the front door, and you go right down the main aisle there. We're just cat a corner from Larabi's. You can't miss us. You're going to definitely be able to know where we're at. It's going to be really neat. One thing I'm really excited about is the stream team is going to be there. The stream team, the three of us, we will be there. We're going to have designated times where all three of us will be there to meet with you, hear about your stories, take photos, all the things that we love to do with folks. We're going to have some designated times that we're doing that. We're going to have time set aside where we're going to be just doing the stream team live right there in front of everybody. But we're also collaborating in a way where we're bringing the top minds, leading products right to the learning yard. And we're bringing our learning yard, what we are known for here. We are so honored to have been awarded Educator of the Year. We're bringing this approach to our booth. And it's a fun way to not just showcase products, but we can kind of get into the nitty gritty. How are these kind of lids used? How are these buckets used? How do we make these splits? How do we use a double screen board? How do we manipulate a frame? How do we do this? And we've got the hives right here. So it's a way that you can literally be right here with us in a bee yard. You can be working these colonies with us per se. And I think that that's really valuable. That's really neat to see how somebody goes through a hive, how they manipulate the frames. Those little tiny things I think make a big difference. So we're going to be hearing from some of the top manufacturers of bee products, specifically how to use the product correctly. What are the features and benefits? What are some things to think about? And that is going to be awesome. We are going to be releasing a schedule. We're going to have that linked to the website at naturesimagefarm.com. You'll click on the Learning Yard, and we'll have a segment in there, the Learning Yard Live at the Bee Expo. And we'll have all the speakers, all the times listed, so you guys can easily check in. If we make changes, you can be kept up to date on those kind of things. So we're going to get into a lot more of that. But Bruce, what are some things that you consider, as you're prepping mentally and physically for the Bee Expo? What are some things that you do to make sure you get the most out of this experience?
Well, previously each year, I think has it been 3 years now? The whole thing's been going on for 4, right? So this is going to be the 5th year. So that for 3 years I've been going. The first year I had no idea what to expect. So I just mainly was almost in awe of all the people who were there, the different YouTube guys, the different creators and all the different vendors. And it was pretty incredible. The second year it was more of the same. Last year was such a change of venue, such a huge operation, just amazingly huge. And as far as preparation, I think just come and just be ready to visit and get to meet people. I love, and I would suggest people to maybe bring a vehicle that's big enough to carry home. Maybe bring a vehicle that's not big enough to carry home everything you want, because there are so many excellent deals there. Obviously, a lot of people have probably pre-ordered equipment from folks, and they've got that planned out. But when you walk through the venue, you just see things that may even be a new product you've never heard of, or a new idea that you'd like to try, and you end up going home with way more than you expected. And the cool thing about it is that it's most of the companies have a really good price on everything, and so you can get a really good deal, better than you can get it typically. And if you consider the shipping that some companies charge for products and things like that, you don't have to pay shipping, and they give you a good deal. It's really, you can very quickly and very easily make up the money that you've spent on the ticket, just with what you save on the products that you would buy otherwise, probably just buying them through the mail. So that's one thing that I really like about it. This year, I'm planning to try to make it into some of the talks. I've seen a few minutes of talks in the past, but I'd like to go in and actually hang out, watching and see some of the speakers, and maybe get to meet some people in those venues as well, in the actual conference rooms. And so previously I've spent probably 80 to 90% of my time in the trade show area. And this year I want to spend a little more time actually in the other parts of the conference as well. And so that's kind of another goal I have this year. But I would say, number one, just be sure, be sure if you got a budget, you might want to budget a little bit higher than what you're thinking, because you're going to find some things there that you want to try. The thing I like about it, obviously we all know the products that we need, the basic beekeeping products, but I really like some of the innovative stuff that you see there. The innovative stuff and kind of some of the fun things, the crafts and things like that. Especially if you're into crafts and things like that, or decorations, there's all kinds of just cool stuff that you can buy and ideas. So I would put a little bit of a buffer in the budget for maybe buying something you weren't expecting. Maybe you'll see something there that you want to try and give a shot. And so if you can afford it, I would suggest you do that. And so if you're driving there, if you got a vehicle, make sure you have plenty of room, and then make sure that you have plenty of room in the pocketbook as well to spend a little bit more than maybe you thought you would. But it'll pay off in the long run if you do that. And like I was saying before, last year we drove, my wife and daughter came with me last year, and we drove the Honda Accord up there. And I ended up buying several boxes from you, Greg, and buying several things that I ended up with way more packed in that car than really we could fit in there. So I think Brian came over and helped us deliver some of that stuff. And he saw us trying to pack it in there, and we literally had my wife and me in the front seat, my daughter in the back seat, and then we had everything packed in, and we really almost couldn't fit it all in there. It was kind of a challenge to get all in that car. So
yeah,
but it's just so cool. I mean, I know a lot of people I see in the comments here have been before, but those who haven't, it's quite the experience. And Grammy's on here. I think Grammy's got a booth, doesn't she? Doesn't she have a booth this year?
We're going to be pals. She's going to be right behind us. So
there you go. Grammy has some cool stuff. She was at the Alabama Bee Conference, and she and Deidre have been working really hard to put some fun products together. So so check her out as well. But I could say check everybody out because there's so many cool people going to be there. But
definitely check out Lisa's their booth. That their first time showing in a big way. Mm-hmm. And we'll kind of get into the layout. I just have a feeling this area, right, is going to be probably named something like Shenanigans Central, something. it's gonna get wild. Wait till you see everybody who's in this place here. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I would also say, don't hesitate. Anybody you see there who you recognize from YouTube or whether it's YouTube or something else, any quote unquote creator or author or people that you recognize, speakers, people like, I'm going to say, you got, obviously you have Bob Benny there, probably you'll have David Burns, any of us, and so many people are going to be there. I'm not going to start, I don't need to start naming people because I'll forget somebody, but don't hesitate to go say hi to them. And if you want to get a picture, whatever, we all, that's part of the fun aspect of the community of it. Don't feel timid or shy. We all, that's one of the coolest and funnest reasons that I go is because of the interactions. I mean, I can get the products, I can get the stuff, I can get it online if I need to, but just the interactions, the community, the camaraderie that you have there, you kind of feel like you're on an island sometimes when you're doing this beekeeping thing, or I guess any type of hobby that you do. But when you go to these conferences, conventions, you get to really hang out with like-minded people and just get to meet a lot of people that you may not ever have a chance to meet otherwise. So don't hesitate to come up, shake hands, and don't be afraid to do that, because that's probably my favorite part of the whole thing is just meeting everybody. And some of you that I've met before, I may forget your name, and don't. I'm getting older, so I can't remember everybody's names all the time. I even people we've had on the chat, sometimes I just have a mind blank. But just don't hesitate to come introduce yourself to me and all of us. And that's one of the funnest things about it.
I was just sitting there talking this guy up, Bruce, Jeremy Lindsay. Salt of the earth. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better guy.
He's very foy,
right? And he says we're very foy. I mean, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that means. You know what I'm going to do? I think we're just going to leave all the broken pallets and pieces and everything. We're just going to leave them right there on the back dock when we leave. Right, lights out, broken pallets on the dock. What's this guy trying to do to? I've heard he has this infatuation with. You know how Mike Tyson? They said during the fight, he's in there biting his thumb, biting his gum. He's got this thing where he said he's got an infatuation with biting. I think Jeremy Lindsay has an infatuation with broken pallets. Like he likes to take all those and take them back to the homestead and like disassemble them. Like I heard he's starting his own YouTube channel. It's one of those I made a pallet using pallets video. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be great. You know what I mean?
He doesn't walk away from the camera like what Mike Tyson did.
No, not right. Jeremy Lindsay is not going to walk away from a fight. Oh, photogenic. Oh, okay. All those things I just said, that's totally erased that. My bad. Just kidding. In all seriousness, Jeremy, what a good dude. He's going to get embarrassed and get hateful that I'm talking him up. But there are some guys that he is in it to make sure that everybody else wins it, and that's a big deal. But well, we've got a couple folks going to come on. We're checking with Brian on his hot tips and tricks a little bit later. Same thing for me. Before we get started there, I got a quick reminder that I want to play. And then we're going to bring on Tom and Melissa Sosman and Philip from RTX Honeybees. And let's see. Oh man, I can't play the thing I was going to play.
Why?
Technology, man. StreamYard's it wouldn't let me upload the video. Anyways, so with the power of technology, do you remember Wayne's World? It was like, and then it switches screens, right? So everybody do that. Come on, Brian. Come on, don't leave me hanging here. Okay, everybody down the bottom. Everybody do it. Tom, Melissa, Philip, ready? And with the power of technology, look at that, and just like that, we're here. Okay. Wow.
It's amazing.
Thanks for jumping on here tonight, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
It's not often we get special guests on here, but it's great to have you guys on here. And Brian, can you actually let me see if I can do this real quick. This is sort of a big deal. It'd be an even bigger deal if I can figure out how to do a share screen like Brian does. There we go. Okay. So, all right, you can even see my cursor, I think, right? Okay, cool. So one of the things I wanted to talk about quickly is, this whole section here is going to end up being like shenanigans central. There's going to be a lot of really cool stuff going on. When you walk in the front doors, you're literally are going to be funneled and go right down this aisle, and we're right here to the left. Okay, you won't have to look hard to find us. All you have to do is just kind of put your ear out and just hear where all the heckling and all the goofing off's going. Then you'll be able to find us pretty easy. Let's see if this will let me. Oh man, look at this. Okay, cool. So when you come in those doors, you're going to come right to our booth, right? And here's why I want to bring this up. Is we're going to be Hives for Heroes. We're going to be neighbors. Hives for Heroes. Lisa, she's right here. But Hives for Heroes is going to be right here. And you guys know we've had a long history of working with Hives for Heroes for I don't even know how many years now. Seems like a long time, going all the way back where they invited us to be a part of the Nebraska conference, which goes back, it's got to be 3 years, 4 years maybe. And it's been great to watch that organization kind of grow and then bring on a bigger team and get so many more folks involved. And also see the mentors and the newbies and everything grow. And one of the greatest things about all of it is the collaboration between folks who are going to dig in and do the work and help each other out. And that's why we've got Philip and Tom and Melissa on tonight to talk about a really cool initiative that they're doing to kind of help support what they're doing at Hives for Heroes. Philip, Tom, and Melissa, can you guys talk to us a little bit, like one at a time, because only the three of us can talk at the same time and no one listens. But Philip, do you want to talk to us a little bit about this initiative on how you're collaborating to help Hives for Heroes?
Yes. First of all, thanks for having me, guys. It's really it's kind of a thing that just happened. The history of it is last year I was selling gift baskets and I was doing really good on them. So I decided I wanted to give back a little bit. So I made a big gift basket and had a Hives for Heroes raffle. And as usual, what we call our little community called the No Life Beekeepers, they purchased the majority of the tickets on that. And I think we went into the raffle a few days before the raffle. I think I'd raised like $400 and it went up to like $700 right before we raffled. So I decided I would just do that again. I also helped Hives for Heroes a little bit last year by asking people to bring things over their table to add to their raffle, which they'll have also. And we may do that again. I've got to work that out. Craig Midget is working their booth this year, so I've got to talk to Craig, make sure he wants or needs us, they're bothering him with that, with more product. But anyway, this year, Brian Zavada from Flower Street Farms contacted me, and he said, I really like what you're doing. I'd like to donate a gift basket. And I said, well, sure, we can probably look into that. And then when I announced that on one of the live streams, I don't know, I'm on almost every night, it seems like. Then Tom and Melissa said, hey, we would like to do a basket. And then all of a sudden somebody else and somebody else and somebody else. And now we've got like 10 different things that are being given away. And as of today, we are at $915 we've raised, and we've still got a few days to go. So we that's when I asked you, Greg, but I think there's a few people that watch your live streams that probably don't watch the rest of them. So maybe open it up, because I'm going to let Melissa get into what we have to offer, because she's been carrying the weight on just trying to keep up with what everybody's donating. It's pretty incredible what's available for people to win. The crux of the thing is, if you make a donation to Hives for Heroes through one of the apps we tell you, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, PayPal, then we will enter a ticket for you into this raffle for every $5 you donate, and you'll be able to win one of these prizes. It'll happen on Joey Rawls live chat this Saturday at 7 p.m. We're going to interview Steve Jimenez, the founder of Hives for Heroes, first, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the program. Then we're just going to have a lot of fun and give away a lot of stuff, and hopefully raise a lot of money for Hives for Heroes. So, Melissa, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about what we have to offer.
All right, sounds good. Let me. So I have to preface with, I threatened Tom that I would duct tape his mouth shut if he started talking. Because if Tom and Greg start talking, we're never going to accomplish anything.
Let's go.
Good plan. Good plan.
Let's go.
So I have to preface with that. So on, let me bring up the picture. Sorry, because I can't remember everything. There's so many things. I can never remember everything that's on that list.
Somebody's not prepared.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's not you. It's me. Here, let me help.
So I've got the picture now. So our first on the list, you can see all the different ways that you can purchase tickets. Like Philip said, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, PayPal. The only thing that we're asking is that when you make those payments, note that it's for Hives for Heroes, so that we know where, so they can know where to put that money. But as far as the giveaways, the first one on the flyer is from Tom and I. It's our bourbon barrel honey, 3 8-ounce bottles of our spring honey, different varieties, some honey straws, 2 lip balms, a beeswax candle, and a jar of our creamed honey. Then we have from Sandy Valley Honey Company, Matt Ramsbottom. He has 50 pounds of his homemade fondant and 2 honey bears. This particular gift basket has to be picked up at Nobby, because it would be insanely expensive to ship 50 pounds of fondant. So I think what Philip is planning on doing is the things that have to be picked up at Nobby are going to be raffled off first. And if you're not going to be there, then you can pick a different prize. The next basket over is a honey collection combination of liquid and creamed honey and honey sticks, donated by J&D Honey, James Noel. And then our next item is an interview inner cover, which you get to choose if you want an 8 or a 10 frame, donated by Joey Rawls. Then we have Mr. Philip Morris has donated 2 6-ounce and 1 9-ounce jars of honey, 2 lip balms, 3 beeswax candles, 3 honey dippers, and 3 pair of earrings that his daughter actually made. That's donated by Philip.
Good looking basket.
Uh-huh. Next, we have some of Mr. Flower Street Farms, Brian Zavada's famous creamed honey, which he does an amazing job on. I can testify that lemon creamed honey is amazing. And he's got 5 different ones in that basket. Then we have Carl from 2 Bee Brats Honey has his fall honey, beeswax candle, and his peanut butter creamed honey.
Ooh.
That
I've never had that.
He is really good too.
Yeah, it's good.
I've tasted that. That's good. And then John Mitchell with Westcliff Honey Company, he's donating some No Life Beekeeper swag, a tumbler, and the trucker style hat you see there. Then we have Sarah Sarah Gillespie with Sarah's Happy Hives is donating some of her 24 karat gold flake honey. And then we have Phil Kent with 33 Mile Bees is donating a $100 Hilco gift card, which is absolutely amazing. And then we have Mr. Mark Miller is donating 2 mated queens that will be delivered in May. So we've got some really amazing gifts there for a $5 chance to win something like that is going to be given back to an amazing organization.
Awesome.
So how do people donate? Can they donate just on the live chat, or can they start?
So how does that work? So on the screen, there's Venmo, Noah-Morris-10, Zelle to Phillips. Okay. That's his phone number. So 214-868-7074. Cash App, J. Rawls Bees, or PayPal, Joseph Rawls at bellsouth.net. Okay. So those are the 4 ways. Yeah, those are the 4 ways that you can donate. And like Philip said, for every $5 that you donate, that's an entry into the raffle.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I'm blown away that so many people came out of the woodwork, but that's just another testament to what happens when beekeepers get together and try to raise money for a great organization like Hives for Heroes.
When's the guys, the folks who see this, they may want to pony up and contribute. Do you guys have a cutoff on when you're no longer taking donations for the raffle?
I am of the opinion that Melissa is the one that has to scramble and update the flyer, but I'm okay if people come on that night and say, "Hey, I'll give away such and such," and we just draw a name if they want to, because I'm gonna let people, if they want to send me a Zelle during the first 15 minutes of the show, I'll have my kids here filling out tickets if that's what it takes to make money for Hives for Heroes. I don't want to limit it at all for them.
For tickets, yeah. Now, if anybody wants to donate more items to be raffled off, you can email me pictures and details about it at viahoneybees@gmail.com. So viahoneybees@gmail.com. If anybody wants to offer up more raffle items, whoever donates the item though will be responsible for the shipping and delivering it to the winner.
In the United States.
We're limiting the delivery to the continental United States. And if if it's something specific that you're not going to be able to ship, we can make it designated to be picked up at Nobby if you're going to be at Nobby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So note that also.
There's a certain number of people that are entered into this raffle that aren't beekeepers. So my plan is to take the beekeeping specific things like the queens and the fondant and the Hilco gift card and all that, and do those early. And if someone wins those, I think I'll recognize it because I probably sold them at my farmer's market. I'll just move up to the first gift basket. We'll give that to them, and then we'll draw again so a beekeeper gets those things that are beekeeping specific. If someone wins 2 items and they're on the stream and they can quickly put in the comments which one they want, we'll give them 5 minutes or so to say which one they want, and then we'll just re-raffle for the other one. But we want as many people to win as we can, so we're going to limit it to 1 item per person or family or whatever. But if they win 1, 2, 3, 4, we're not going to do stealing maybe we should do stealing like the Christmas
like the white elephant gift.
White elephant. That'd probably take forever if we did that, but that would be we're going to do that next year. We'll work out the logistics to do that next year. That would be a lot of fun.
Never-ending live there.
Oh man!
But, yeah, we're just going to try to have a really good evening and raise a lot of money for Hives for Heroes. We may be after I talked to Craig Midget, if you want to help Hives for Heroes, they did a really nice raffle last year. Fred Dunn donated a smoker with his logo, and a lot of the no life beekeepers donated, and we built baskets on the spot and gave it all away. And they sold quite a few tickets at the expo for that. So I'm going to offer to coordinate that again for Craig if he wants me to. So, you know, you might just sit tight on some of those things if you want. Just, you know, but like I said, sounds like Melissa's open to receiving them if you get them to her the next day or so.
Okay. Well, I think that was such a great, all that beautiful honey and the packaging. You guys, I mean, all the folks who've already stepped up, that is amazing. I can definitely attest. Brian from Flower Street Farm sent us a beautiful package with a smorgasbord of different creamed honeys and a really cool ball cap and some really neat stickers. And great packaging, not just the honey, but how the box arrived safely, beautifully. But the honey is just unbelievable. The creamed honey, they do a really good job on that. So shout out to all the folks who have already donated. If you guys still have room for donations, on behalf of Queen Right Dial and the stream team and Nature's Image, we'd like to throw into the kitty a premium Hive kit single, which is the absolute very best of everything. It can't get any better than this, all in one spot. It's going to be a Propola Endura hive. So it's wax dipped, featuring the Propola, the texturing on the inside to mimic the bee trees. It's going to come loaded with assembled Premier double wax foundation. It's going to be on top of the wonderful Apame bottom board that has the pollen catch already inside, a beautiful pollen trap. On top, it's going to have the Apame dual feeder, the Apame top cover, and we're really going to dial this thing in, aren't we, Brian? We're going to dial this entire hive kit in. We're going to go right past 10. We're going to dial this rascal right into 11. What do you think?
Right, it's dialed right in.
Dialed right in. You can come by the booth and check it out. And you guys, you know, if we're happy to ship this, no problem. If somebody wants to pick it up at the expo, just we'll be in touch. But yeah, so on behalf of us, we'd like to throw that into the ring too. And if anyone's listening, you know, I'm sure what Melissa really is going to love to do is stay up late the next 2 nights, putting all these things in there, right? And I'm really
I've got nothing better to do.
You know, yeah, exactly. And I gotta say, I can't say how proud I am of Tom. I mean, this is just absolutely unbelievable. I haven't even heard him breathe. Is he breathing?
He's doing great.
Oh, there it is. I heard a word. I mean, you get me and Tom going, holy smokes.
He's showing real restraint.
You got to stop by the booth this year, and let's start something, Tom. Let's start something in a big way. Let's start the very first short story long with Greg and Tom. Stop by the booth. Let's do it.
I'm in.
We're just gonna go on and on and on and on.
I'll be sure to bring plenty to drink, keep my voice intact, and we'll just see where this goes.
If I do want to start at like 12 noon on Thursday, you won't end until Saturday at 6.
Right.
Yeah.
The first thing we're going to do, Tom, is we're going to cut off the shock collar and the ankle monitor.
That's right. Good call, Philip. Right. Good call.
First thing we're going to do.
So
how big is your bullwhip, Melissa? We've got to keep him 10 foot away, 11 foot away, whatever.
You know what? I've changed. It's a collar, like a dog zapper. Yeah. You know, the shocker, shock collar
I see.
Type thing.
Okay.
So I do want to add to, you guys were asking like survival tip guides for the expo. So
what you got?
Good shoes, because you're going to be walking and standing a lot. Throat lozenges, because you're going to be talking all day. Your throat's going to get dry. A heating pad for when you get back to your hotel for the evening, because your back's going to be hurting because you're going to be walking and standing all day. And then the fourth thing that some people may not think about is those hotel rooms are really dry, right? And especially in the winter because the heat is on. So I actually bring a small mini humidifier with me and run that in my room. And that's very, it's really helpful.
Tom's loving it.
Because you get dried out during the day and all that talking, and then the air is so dry in those hotel rooms. So yeah, a small little travel not dehumidifier, small little travel humidifier.
Nice. Tom, what are your survival tips?
Oh, I don't know. I just thrive in places like this. I absolutely love it. This is my favorite. You know, obviously it's just Knobby is, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. I mean, how about that?
What?
You know, I know.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
She hasn't fed you dinner yet, has she?
Well, we had a late lunch is what it was.
JW's on here. Don't mention.
Yeah,
don't
let's not
mention
talk
that.
about food. JW start poking at me. He hurts my feelings very quickly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah,
5 minutes.
I just the whole expo. It's amazing. If anybody in here or whomever in here is in here that has not gone, be prepared to be blown away. You will meet the nicest people in the entire world here at this thing. It's like a huge family is what it is. I actually go there just to meet new people and talk to old friends.
Imagine that.
Yeah. So hopefully at some point in time, I might make it into some educational events. But I'm not going to make any promises on that, you know, because there's just too many great faces that we need to see and some great conversations to be had. And much like what's happening here, you know, there's a lot of giving to be done. You know, it's really great to receive something. Everybody loves to receive a gift, but I'll tell you honestly, I think on something like this, especially like the Hives for Heroes, it's more important to give something here than to receive. There's a lot of great people out there that need some help, and the Hives for Heroes program is one of those that focuses on that. So I'd like to see this, whatever Philip said he had received so far, I'd like to see that at least doubled. I mean, there's no reason. Greg and Brian and those guys just threw an absolutely amazing gift.
Incredibly,
you know, generous. So I would just implore everybody, even if for some reason there's not anything on there that you want, come at this with a giving heart. If you're like, hey, and you even message Philip, you send him some money, whatever it might be, say, hey, you know, if you're not interested in anything, great, leave it for somebody else, leave a donation. There's plenty of people that will be helped by this. So let's go with this with the giving heart, you know, and that's what I would leave this as, is just, you know, give back to the community.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well said. Philip, what about you? What are some survival tips from Mr. RTX Honeybees himself?
All right. First of all, hydrate. That's number one. And then number two, and it's very important, get the freebies right away. Don't miss out on your Hilco Hive tool like I did last year by waiting until day 2.
There you go. Get the freebies quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's all I have. I think I already put one in the notes. If you have your car there in the parking lot, sneak outside and take a nap. That's what I did.
You know, you get wore out pretty quick, and the great recommendations there. We'll get into a lot more of those too. I want to thank you guys for coming on tonight and sharing what you guys are doing to literally be the change you want to see. That's what it's about, being a lighthouse to folks, helping folks out. You guys are walking the walk and talking the talk, and I really appreciate that about you guys. Tom and Melissa, before you go, I got to put you on the spot for 42 more seconds at least. Speaking of giving, you guys right now are putting an enormous amount of time and resources into bringing this kind of a vibe, this kind of a gathering, this kind of a homecoming. It's not a family reunion, it's a homecoming is what it's an old-fashioned gospel homecoming is what a lot of these feel like, where everyone is coming together, and not everybody can make it down to Kentucky. And what you guys are doing, you're doing something special where you're putting the same kind of vibe together, the same type of folks, same kind of energy, but you're bringing it to St. Louis, Missouri. Can you guys talk to us a little bit about the conference that you guys are working on right now?
Yeah, sure. So obviously the biggest thing that we're looking to do here is we don't want to just recreate a Knobby, even though there's so many spectacular things about that event. Cayman Reynolds and his entire team have done a phenomenal job keeping this thing moving forward, and not only just making it bigger, which is great, but he's kept the quality intact, which is really important. And when Melissa and I looked at this, you know, we're just two members of the EMB8. It is not the Melissa and Tom team, just so everybody knows this.
We actually don't even like each other.
Right. We have an entire board behind us, and everybody really is. The board that we have at the EMBA is phenomenal. They're fantastic. And basically, we want to bring a great educational event with, like Greg said, that homecoming feeling there of just camaraderie amongst people, like Greg talks about being the lighthouse. We want to bring people together, and this is just the bees are just a conduit for that, again, just like Greg said. But we want to have great educators there. We want to have so many opportunities for people to purchase great and phenomenal products by good and wholesome business owners and vendors. And, when we actually invited people to this and vendors and such, we didn't take that lightly. We just didn't start calling people who's going to give us the biggest and best and, coolest things to raffle off. We wanted people of quality and sustenance there that offer some really good products. And Greg Burns, Nature's Image Farm, is going to be there. They're going to be one of them. We have several vendors that are coming. First of all, our local shop, Jane with Visibees. We have Nick with Motherload. He's got some great hive feeders. We're going to have a great honey show attached to that. Matthew with Comfort Pro. Bob, his team with the Blue Ridge Honey Honey Company. We have Earl Hoffman with Strong Microbials. Of course, John with Hilco. And you better believe it, the Hives for Heroes guys are going to be there.
Nice,
definitely. And like I said, Greg, Nature's Image Farm, he's got a good sized booth here that he's going to be bringing. We have Arda with Apame. We have Daniel with Golden Bee. We have Dan Long with the Easy Peasy Queen setup in cages. We have a local vendor who makes a lot of nice homemade soaps and such. We also have BL Plastics. We have bottles there. And then we have a new innovator that's actually coming to Nobby that everybody will see him there, 21st Bees. He's got some new innovative frames that he's actually working on, and he will actually have those there. So again, we have a lot of great vendors. We're going to have the Missouri State Beekeepers Association there. We have Hitch Hive Honey there. So Natalie Summers going to be selling some of her products there as well. So, make sure to stop by and check her out. So we have a well-rounded group of vendors there.
And this workshop is a little bit unique in that we have two separate tracks going on, one for beginners and one for experienced beekeepers. We have some very experienced seasoned beekeepers that are going to be teaching on the new beekeeper side, as well as Natalie Summers. And then on the experienced side, we have Bob, Corey, Earl, and Jim Masucci teaching on the experience side. And like Tom said, the American Honey Show Council is going to be judging a honey show for us. Mm-hmm. In addition to that, the day before the workshop, we're also hosting the American Honey Show Training Council class. So if you're interested in becoming a honey judge or just perfecting your honey show entries, that is a great class to take. As well as we have a pre-workshop banquet that evening also. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot going on that Friday and Saturday. It's going to be an amazing time.
All I know is Greg better rest up after Nobby. He's going to need his sleep because it's going to be a 2.0 happening in St. Louis. So he better have his voice intact. He better be well hydrated, have his energy levels up, and be in good health because it's going to wear him out. So, and
then the attendance for the workshop is 200 per each track. So 200 in the beginners, 200 in the experienced.
Awesome. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be running on probably what's going to keep me going is probably black coffee and Brian's
cream honey.
Clean honey. I'm going to be,
You know what? Hit up Brian because Brian will be there. He's coming to the EMBA.
Oh, really? Oh, nice, man. Yeah, cool. Yeah. That's the exciting part is you have so many folks that you love. They're your friends. You build these relationships with, you collaborate with, and then to get to see them in a couple different spots a year really is an awesome thing. So,
and it's nice to see them in a smaller venue also because Nobby's amazing, but it's a little bit overwhelming at the same time. And there's so much going on. Sometimes like you get to reconnect with people, but sometimes you don't really get to have those long drawn out conversations that you'd like to have.
Greg and Tom's short story longs, booth 215.
So going to like these smaller venues is really great because you really get some more quality time, especially with the speakers, you know?
Right.
Every time I go to Nabi, I can't hardly get a hold of Greg. He's talking, and I stand there for about an hour, 2, maybe 3. I don't even
Stop it.
And I can't get him because he's a popular guy. But what I'm thinking I'm going to do is, since I'm bringing him out here, maybe he'll give me like 5 minutes because I'm going to get his autograph on a hat or something.
Oh my gosh. Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
It would be really cool if we had somebody else there, like, I don't know, Philip with RTX. Probably like Brian maybe with Castle Hives. Bruce, I mean, coming out of the South. I mean, what that would make this thing the best. If we could have all these guys drive up to St. Louis, we'll have a great time. You know, we'll just talk all night long, I guess. You know, we can sleep whenever we're dead. Okay. We're going to get this out and we're just going to have a great time. So,
well, speaking of talking all night long, we're already at the end of the show. We're just getting started. We're 1 hour in. We're going to cover some more ground here tonight. Tom, Melissa, Philip, really looking forward to seeing you guys here in just a couple weeks. I guess until then, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and thanks again for everything that you guys are doing, not just in your own communities, but the community at large. You guys are awesome. Thanks again.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys.
That's fine.
This is the problem. This is the problem with these things, man. You get to the expo, you get to the thing, right? And you can't stop. But the 3 takeaways that I heard from them is comfy shoes, hydrate or die, and make sure you're spending time in the vendor area. And I like Tom's style, and I'm the same way. It's like I can always watch the talks later. Like how I'm going to implement that and change and, you know, think about things. Like I can watch those talks later, but I can't shake hands. I can't have the face-to-face time. That to me is what is for me the most valuable thing. Whether we were a vendor or not, it's the FaceTime that you just it's nearly priceless. So Brian, Bruce, you know, talk to us a little bit about some of his survival tips and tricks. Brian, what are some things that you think folks should keep in mind, and what are some things that you do? What are we talking about? Brian or Bruce, we're asking the guy who shows up. He drives all night long. He's running on 18 monsters, not just the little ones, but the big ones with the whoop, the pop, and the top, and the cap pops off, and the smoke comes out. You know, the real big cans. He's living on them things. He's got one of those hats where there's one on each side, and he's got the tubes in there, and he's just cruising through the Bee Expo running on white monsters.
That was not enjoyable that time. So I looked, I think by the end of the day that day, I looked almost like a zombie. So, you know, I'll say, so for those that are new, those that have not been to a conference of this size, the tips that were already said, comfortable shoes, you're going to need them because the place is massive. It really is big. Hydrate also, like they said, you know, and just spend time like what's already been said. And this is pretty much like, I said this last year, as far as the talks, I can watch those afterwards. You're really in that large of a venue. I can sit on my couch and be comfortable and listen to those speeches after. Being able to walk through and see everybody that, you know, we look into the chat, you see all of those folks in there week after week. And with all of the lives, you know, it's day after day after day, this beekeeping community. How often are you going to have the chance to walk up an aisle and, oh my gosh, you know, there's Tom or there's Philip or, you know, hey, there's Bruce and there's whoever. How often are you going to have that opportunity? So like last year, what I did, I just decided, I'm like, you know, for me, there was more value in shaking people's hands and meeting people and spending that time. So I'll just, for everything that was said, I'll say also charge this bugger up also, just because, you know, you're going to want to get some pictures and things like that too. So, but yeah, just be comfortable. And if there is like one specific person that you want to see give a talk, set an alarm on your phone, because I know like I forget whether it was last year or the year before. Maybe it was the year before. So 2 years ago, I forget who I wanted to listen to. It ended up that I was talking away, and I looked, and it was like hour and a half past they had even started, and they were already done. So it's like, oh my gosh, the time goes by so fast when you're there. If you do have a set timeline, you're probably going to want to set an alarm because you're going to lose track of time very easily. It's very large, and just pace yourself though too. It's such a large venue, and it almost is. I think, like Tom said, it's overwhelming. You're going to walk in there, and when you walk through, I mean, just coming up to the building, it is massive. And then when you walk in there and you go into the doors of that trade show, it is. I had never seen anything like it before. The prior conference was large. Granted, it was large. Came and put a great conference together there. When it switched up to Kentucky, what was done there, it's just like, here, hang on one second, hold my beer. I'm going to put on an even larger conference. And it just is. It's like was said too. It's such a family atmosphere. You're walking down these aisles and you're seeing people in the chat, and it's like, oh man, and it's not like the person is foreign to you, because we talk to these people every week. Folks are in chat, so and I second. Maybe it was Bruce that said, hey, just come up, say hi, shake our hands, things like that, because everybody really, even and I learned this very early on. The David Burns and those that have the umpteen thousands of followers on here, I mean, they love to talk. The beekeepers, we love to talk. So just come up and say hi. I love that. And if, like everybody knows, I like to run my jaws a little bit too. So, but enjoy it though. That's what it boils down to. Enjoy it. Be comfortable and enjoy it. It's 3 fantastic days. It's an opportunity that not everybody gets to go to. So just truly enjoy it,
Yeah. Sweetheart and Honeybees has a great comment there. He says, tip would be to get all of your pre-orders loaded up ASAP so you can spend the rest of the time hanging out, talking, and enjoying the rest of the expo. So that makes a lot of sense. I think Melissa or somebody said earlier, somebody said to hydrate. Who was it that said that? But that's important
Everybody,
too.
I think.
Yeah.
My problem is I don't drink coffee, so it's hard to
Stay jacked up on water.
Coffee's free, but I don't think they offer water there, so that's just
They
makes it a little challenging.
so I think
They offer, you have to pay for, at least to the previous one, you had to pay like $8 a bottle or something for water.
no
So I'm not sure
so where, and I only know this because I hit it up a couple times, against the wall. So when you walk in,
they have a place
on the left-hand side,
okay,
I'm pretty sure it's like those like bottle filling or those water filling stations.
I see.
Like
Okay.
they have at airports. So
Okay.
what
Okay,
I would do and what I would suggest for people to do, because we all know that water it's very cheap at these type of events. Put an empty bottle.
That was a joke, Bruce.
Drink.
I know.
It took me a second. I'm thinking, what?
Take an empty bottle in with you. If they fuss about bringing in like outside food, drinks, I think they do. You might, I'm not saying that I did this, but you might be able to have some in some kind of hidden thing that Chris Medeiros won't pat you down with. But I just kept going over and over and over, and I just refilled the water.
Okay. That makes sense.
So,
I did not see that last year, but that's actually a good thing.
Yep.
I don't believe they had that at the other place.
No, they didn't. And where
died of thirst and that one.
Yeah, where Queen Right Dial was last year, we were like where Greg's booth is. Yeah, we were right there. and it's just around to the left of that and down some. There's a filling station about right where Greg's cursor is right there.
Okay.
So I would just let people know, hey, you know,
well, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of now. Everybody's saying what you're saying, so it sounds like you're right. So I'll remember that.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's all.
The thing I'm a young guy, but I feel like I'm getting older, and some of these things sometimes matter. They really matter if you don't hydrate until somebody says you're having migraines and you look like death because how much water have you drank today? Like, I get in arguments with my wife and I said, well, I had 8 cups of coffee. There's water in the coffee, isn't there? Apparently that doesn't count. That's not the same. You got to have just regular clear water or whatever, apparently, or Gatorades or the things. But anyways, what I have a bad habit of doing, and I actually have been trying to fix that now, is when you're in go mode constantly, like it's coffee, maybe a peanut butter sandwich, coffee. But then the problem is you're doing all this prep, and then now it's time to do the thing, whether it's a big bee run or it's a big package pickup day or it's an expo, and you haven't drank any water and you try to catch up. You just don't catch up right away, and you start drinking water all of a sudden. What's the next thing that happens, Bruce? When your body's dehydrated and now you start all of a sudden drinking water, what does it do with the water?
It goes right through you, right?
It goes right through you. So here's what I wanted to show you. So these things matter. So here's the entrance. Here's our booth. Okay. And we're literally we're right off the middle drag right here. Okay. This is all the action happens through here. All the traffic all day long is going down through here. Yes, some will go around, kind of tapers off and around the corners here, but the middle is where everyone is cutting through. They're checking all the stuff out. But the big thing is the bathrooms right here. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So there's bathrooms right here, real close to our booth, and then the other set of bathrooms are here in the back, the very, very back. Yeah. But that's a hike. That is a little bit of a hike. So, anyways, keep that in mind. Bathrooms in the back. There's food and concessions in the back, but there are water filling stations and restrooms right here on the sidewall. Right when you come into the left, not far from our booth. So keep that in mind. This place is like, I'm trying to do the math on this. Someone who's quick on math, these aisles are like 16 feet. These are, let's see, our booth is 20 by 40. So that's 20 feet, 16 feet, 20 feet. Do all that math. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18-ish times 20. It's like a football field by football field. Imagine there is a massive trade show inside of a stadium on a football field. Like, that's, I think, what this looks like. That is huge. So I want to quickly share this, a couple tips and tricks about our booth and pre-orders. I'm going to thank everybody for all the pre-orders. Like, our cutoff is tonight at 11:59, but right now we've got 32 skids to fit on a semi truck that really only holds 28 if you put them in front ways and 30 if you stagger them. So we should have probably, the order should have been probably cut off last week. But anyways, what is important to know, a lot of the larger suppliers and dealers and such, you're probably not going to be able to just walk up to their booth and say, I'm here to pick up my pre-order whenever it suits you the best. A lot of the outfits that are dealing in a lot of volume will very likely be reaching out to you, emailing you with a window time for you to pick up. And that's your window. For us to be able to move 30 skids of pre-sales through here, that's what we're going to be doing. We'll be emailing everybody and providing pickup windows. And I really hope it's not during your favorite speaker or all of those things, but the pickup windows are going to very likely be during those time frames, because when it is the visit the vendor times in the schedule, that is not going to be an ideal time to come try to sort through and get your pre-orders. There's going to be so many people all the time at all those booths the best thing is to do is to reach out to whoever you bought stuff with and ask them what the pre-order pickup policy is going to be. We'll be reaching out to our folks next week with all those details and time slots and things of that nature. But just keep that in mind. This thing there is a lot going on, a lot of folks happening. So at our booth 215, you'll come into our booth here. Okay, so you'll come into our booth. You'll see we're going to have skids of wax dipped propola. We're going to have bucket feeders. We're going to have lids. We're going to have bottoms. We're going to have hive alive. The list goes on and on and on. We're going to have the blue ribbon award-winning technology Queen Right dial is going to be in the booth with a brand new, never before seen, limited edition Queen Right mating dial with a nature's image flare to it. You don't want to miss that. That is going to be really cool. We're going to have hive kits. There's going to be so many cool things that we're doing on the sales side outside of the edutainment side, where our the video studio audio booth is going to be. So just keep that in mind. You're gonna come into our booth area here. There's going to be a couple tables. There's going to be one table designated for pre-orders. That's going to be a separate kiosk. We'll get you information. But here's the thing to consider. When you come into our booth to pick up your pre-orders, you're going to check in here at our booth, okay? And then we're going to shoot you right down this aisle and straight right in the center here. We have a pre-order pickup booth right here in the back where all the vendor storage is. We're going to be right next to our pals at Premier for their pre-orders. And then, which is also really cool, is a lot of the some of our favorite Ohio beekeepers are also going to be here at the conference again. We've got right next to our pre-order booth is Mr. Chris Cree, and he's a great guy. He does a great job on queens and nukes. He's going to be right next to us here on the back line. And one of the things, here's a pro tip, and this is from a guy who I love to talk and I love to visit. I love to share stories, and at some point my voice 100% goes out. And the single best product that has helped me with that tremendously is a propolis spray that every year my wife will go over and visit the folks at Beepothecary, and they're also an Ohio based company. Beepothecary right here. Every year they always have propolis spray. Make sure you stop by their booth and tell them that Greg sent you over there. They do a great job on their product lines there, but that propolis spray, boy, it really does wonders for the throats there. While we're right here, let's zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to kind of point out some of the hot spots, some things that I think people are definitely going to want to check out. As you come into the entrance, of course, you've got our buddy Rob and Lori with Larabie's. They do a great job there. This is where you're going to find your instant vapes. Our pals Premier are going to be right here. I don't think they're going to have anything on the floor necessarily to sell you there, but we're carrying their entire line: frames, foundation, cases of foundation. If you need a skid of assembled frames and foundation, we will have that too. But we have the wax dipped propola Endura hives. Incredible opportunity. I've said this before. Not only have we set the standard for quality wax dipped equipment, we've now raised the bar. We have a new wax dipped product that I cannot wait to show you guys. You got to come by our booth 215 to check it out. That's going to be awesome. So if you're looking for Premier products to buy, if you didn't already make a pre-order with them and you want to buy it on the floor, we've got the line. We've got the full line of Premier at our booth. You can come check that out too. When you're over here, there's also some really cool things going on. We've got our buddy Terry Chapman at Guardian Bee Suits. He's right here. And then just next to him is the one and only Randy, the Dirt Rooster. So that'll be fun, having Terry and Randy right here in this kind of same little area. Beekeeping with Natalie, she's going to be right here. We've got Lisa, the Grammy Midwife Homestead. I never seem to get the YouTube channel right because I'm forgetful. But Lisa Gowan, Grammy Beekeeping and Homesteading, she's going to be right here. That's going to be really cool. Right next to us here, Andrew Connor, Wick Wasp Press. What a fun guy. great product line. You guys know all of the Increase Essentials, all the Essentials lines of books and more are going to be right here. Of course, our pals, Hives for Heroes, they're going to be right here. What a fun corner we're going to be in, because we go right here and we've got Hive Alive. Dara Scott, his team are going to be there. That's a lot of fun there too. Who else? I can't zoom in far enough. Tom Nolan here at Not Apiaries, your Formic Pro guy. He's going to be right there. Bee Apothecary is right here. Pre-orders for Premier Nature's Image here. Chris Cree is going to be right here in the corner. I wish we could all be next to each other. Chris Cree, yeah, local Ohio beekeeper here. Yep, Chris Cree. He'll be over there.
I thought you said Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kremes. Chris Cree, if you're listening, I've got a marketing strategy for you. Krispy Kremes at Chris Cree's booth number, I think it's 247. Wouldn't that be good? We've got Coron over here at Apame. That's going to be awesome. He's right here. That's going to be pretty cool. And then the other one I think folks definitely want to go check out. I wish they were closer, but Dale McMahon and Crispin Given, just some legendary guys in the insemination world, are going to be, their booth is right here. Apis Engineering, that's going to be a phenomenal place to check out. Just what's great about Apis Engineering is Dale is a military veteran, number one. Number two, Dale actually makes and produces the equipment. It's all made in the USA. That's a big deal, guys. A lot of the steel, a lot of the products that are in this marketplace, unfortunately, a lot of them come from China and Timbuktu, who knows where. But what Dale does, he, military veteran, and this stuff is made in the USA. They provide the training and the equipment all under the same banner. That's cool. That's a big deal. Copper Canyon, your coffee is going to be right here. That's a big deal too. I'm trying to scroll through. I know I'm going to be leaving some folks out. Simple Comb, definitely want to check that out. They're what a great crew there at Simple Comb. I'm trying to think who else is on here. My eyes aren't so good. I can't read all of the things there. But no matter where you go, you're going to be absolutely surrounded just by a lot of just incredible folks all over the place. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's just a couple of them that I can think of. The ones that I'm really excited to just hang out. Some of them are clear on the other side there, so it's going to be hard to kind of catch up and see with them. But okay, so now you know where our booth is. You know where the bathrooms are. You know where the water bottle refills are, and you know where the Krispy Kremes are. I mean, what more could you ask for, right?
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
The thing, Bruce, and you know, as we all get older, you know, I think these things matter a lot more. But when you are talking about, you know, 3 long days of just hard humping all the time, just beating a path everywhere, you're walking on concrete. It's you're going to want to make sure those comfy shoes, stay hydrated, and what I'm trying to do this year is make sure I'm staying hydrated a week before the expo, to where that is not an issue. But another thing, and I just want to, this is not fear mongering, okay? So don't take this the wrong way. But we're going to be around a ton of people, guys. Like, it's a great way to test your immune system. It's a great way for your body to build and this defense, right? But one of the things that I do now, I don't know if this stuff works, right? But I use it and I feel like it does. But I usually make sure that I'm getting a lot of vitamin C and zinc, whether that's emergency powder that you add to your water or just through extra vitamin C and zinc. I'm not a doctor. I didn't play one. I did watch a lot of Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman as a kid, so I feel semi-qualified to give you free advice. But this is what I do. This is the Mike Berry approach. This is what I do. Zinc, vitamin C, lots of water. Potassium, those turmeric, anti-inflammatories, keep things rocking and rolling. Glucosamine, some of the basic things that I take just to keep this big knucklehead moving forward. But one of the powerhouses is garlic infused honey. Now it's getting late. If you were trying to infuse it now for then, it's late, but still do it now. Because if you do catch the crud, if you do, eat somebody's sneeze on accident, when you come home, if you're not feeling well, have some of these things ready for yourself when you get home so you can get back caught up to speed quick. But garlic infused honey, Susie makes it. I love it. And the longer it sits, the better and better it gets. I cannot tell you how many times. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying this does anything. But when you know your body, and you can feel like you're getting like a sinus infection, or you just feel like, okay, I got something starting to set in. I can't tell you how many times dosing myself with the garlic infused honey, how much of a difference that has made. Such a big deal. But am I going over? Is that overboard, guys? Am I going overboard with the immunity approach on that?
No, I mean, that is a good tip, because if you're somebody that catches bugs easily, I mean, you're going to be around well over 1,000 people. So that's a good tip. So
Okay.
I was going to say almost something, and Bruce probably knows what this is, a Medrol dose pack, a steroid pack. But instead of the steroids, start with the Krispy Kremes like a week before, and start with like 4 and taper it down. That way, when the conference does hit, you are on such a sugar high that it's gonna carry you right through. There will be no issue with energy. It's just going to carry you right straight through, and you will be fine. So 4 Krispy Kremes, then 3, then 2, then 1, and ride it all through.
Have you ever done that thing where you make like a smash burger, but you put it between 2 Krispy Kremes? Have you ever had one of those?
No. Or Krispy Kreme, and then
what about you, Bruce?
Fried bologna sandwich.
Click your unmute there button for a second, Bruce. Have you ever had one of those smash burgers between, or smash burger, a hamburger between 2 Krispy? You ever had one of those?
I have not, but with Brian, it always comes back to donuts.
I mean, why wouldn't it?
True that. It sounds
All
good
right.
though. It sounds
Doesn't
good.
sound good.
I'm trying to quit though, but
Do you do lettuce and tomato?
I'm not sure what you eat when you have something that sweet. Do you do that, or I don't know. I don't know how it works. I've never tried it.
And the hamburger, the cheese, a little mayo.
Brian's the pro.
The
He should be able to
Krispy Kreme.
tell you. Brian's the pro. Brian, what do you think? Smash burger on Krispy Kreme donuts. Do you use all the condiments, or do you just slap it between 2 halves of a donut and go?
I would just keep it basic. I would.
I think maybe the next when we have the next learning yard or the next creator convergence, I think we need to take it up a notch, and that's what we're gonna be eating. What do you have there, Brian?
Edward said, let me go up. Do y'all have a queen calculator? It's
Oh boy, do we! Come by booth 215.
Yeah.
Okay, I just got a text from somebody. It popped through the computer. It says I need to add something. I thought it said D3. Is D3 a thing? Maybe it's V3.
D3? I don't know.
V3, D3, B. Maybe it's. I bet it's B3. B3, B vitamins.
Oh yeah.
My
this here, Edward, it'll let you. You basically can. I mean, it's my camera's blurry, so you're not getting the full effect of it.
D3.
But you have your dating, and then you have the stages, so you can dial it in. You basically can dial it and just set so that you know when to expect mated queen.
Stop by, anyone who's listening to this, who's going to be at the expo. You've got to stop by our booth, and I'm going to walk you through this thing, because anyone who is making queens, queen cells, virgins, mated queens, or you just want to stay on top of it, this thing is really handy. You can throw it in your pocket, but you literally can dial it into the day that you graft, and it tells you when to expect all of the things that are going to happen next, when they're capped, when you might need to set them, all those. Look at Brian is like Oprah. You get a queen right now. And
I might even have some that are a certain color that's going to have a custom sticker on the back of it.
Limited edition, maybe. This is going to be so fun. There are so many great, unique things going on.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Jason Egan says D3 is a vitamin D. So yeah, vitamin D is ultra important. So that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, so we've heard from Bruce, we've heard from Brian. I gave you the long story, the short story long on just a few of the things. Shoes are the big thing. You know, you're going to be on concrete. You know, turmeric for me is a big deal because that much concrete is rough on hillbillies who are used to working out on dirt. Concrete is rough if you don't spend a lot of time on concrete. Hydration, do all of those things. Nutrition, you know, don't just decide the day before you're going to get your body caught up. Let's do that now. Start eating a little cleaner. Start working on getting hydrated. Get that the vitamin and mineral intakes going. This you might think this is why are these guys so serious about this? Hey, let me tell you, this will be our. I can't remember how many now. Is this the fifth conference or fourth? Let's see. The one was in the one place, and then there was two, three, four. This is the fifth. Okay, we've been at 4 of the 5, and let me tell you, it wears you out something fierce, and not just while you're there, but it sometimes takes me 3 to 5 days after to just get the brain fog off. There is a lot, and here's the thing that I suffer from, and I hate this. Is while I'm there, I want to be my best for every single person and Bruce and Brian's the same way. You want to be your best for every single person. You shake a hand, you look them in the eye, you're having that conversation, you're making that connection. Like some of these things get so wild there that there may be a line of people or a group of people just waiting to come up just to say hi or say thanks or to get a photo or to have you sign something. And that is, it's an honor and it's humbling. And we want to be the best we can for every single person. And it's kind of like if you've ever performed, if you've ever preached, if you've ever got up and give a presentation and you just pour your entire self out, and then all of a sudden, as you're done and you step away from that intenseness, all of a sudden you're just like a wrung out towel and there's nothing left in the tank.
Let down.
The same thing happens. It's a letdown. So exactly, the adrenaline, everything is now gone, and your body is going into oh my mode. Mm-hmm. And sometimes for me, that can take 3 to 5 days to finally shake loose from it. So I'm trying to do better with that and make sure that I give my body its best chance. This may sound silly, guys, but when you're talking about thousands and thousands of people that you're meeting and talking with, and you're around, and all the sound and the commotion, you got to spend some time afterwards to decompress, so you can reassess, so you can re-engage. It's an important thing to keep in mind. So those have been some great survival tips. We're going to cruise through here. Some that are in the comments here. I think we've already covered a lot of these. Look at this: comfortable shoes, layered clothing, and extra cash. Actually, those are spot on. The layered clothing is a really, really good one, because if you run hot or if you run cold, no one wants to be running around there with a big Carhartt or a parka on, you know, so dress in layers so you can get down and be comfortable. That's a great idea. And extra cash, look, there are going to be so many deals. There are going to be so many opportunities. And I'm going to give you just a little secret. The best time to come buy stuff, the best time to have that important conversation, the best time to come have a chat with us is when there are the other speakers going on. That's when the vendor hall is going to be the quietest, and our booth is never quiet. There is always a gaggle of folks there, and that is awesome. But when it's vendor visitation time throughout the schedule, it's a madhouse. So if you want a little more personal one-on-one time with us, if you want to talk about, hey, maybe you want to come and you want a skid of something, or you want 10 or 20 or 30 of something, that's going to be the time to talk about it then. So come see us, come check it out. You can always watch the talks later, but you're not going to be able to have the opportunity to shake somebody's hand, share your story, hear theirs, and make that personal connection. It's going to be a great time to do that. So that was a great tip there. Chris Maduris hit one of his hot tips: talk to new people and make new friends. Bruce and Brian, everyone's already said it. You will not find a single person there who is unapproachable. Now, us beekeepers, we're goofballs. So there are times where someone may look tired and wore out and grumpy. They're probably not. They're probably just tired and wore out. But don't let that stop you from saying hi, from smiling. Start a conversation. There are so many folks. This is where these things are gold. Yes, you can 100% go learn something really cool from a top-notch speaker, 100%. But likely you're going to learn, and I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyways. You're likely going to not learn as much from the beekeeper who has 500 or 1,000 or 3,000 colonies. You're going to learn a lot from them, but you're going to learn more when you find that person who is where you want to be in the next 2-3 years. That's the person you need to find. That's the person you need to have the conversations with. That's the person you need to learn the hard lessons from. So there are you're talking about a vendor hall full of other beekeepers who are either in the same boat, maybe they're in a bigger boat, they've had other trials. You want to go learn from them, hear from them specifically, the things that are working for them, what's not working for them. And that truly is where the gold really is.
Yeah.
So talk to new people, make new friends.
It'd be almost 3 years ago now, or no, 2 years ago. So 2 conferences ago when the snow hit. One of the things that I enjoyed, if you're going into the food area or if you're going into where one of the talks are, just sit down next to somebody and just have a conversation. There was 2 years ago, there was a couple that was not originally from the US, that they're from, I believe they're from North Carolina, and sat down at the table, talked to them for hours the first year. And now each year when I see them, it's like, oh my gosh, how you doing? And we chat a little bit and kind of catch up. But don't be afraid to just sit down with somebody that you don't know. Last year, like the thing about food, that's very, very important. Make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you have, food. Last year I just went, sat down, went and got, I think I got pulled pork for lunch. Maybe it was the second day. Sit down at a table, there was an empty table there. Well, there was one guy sitting at the table, sit down, ended up talking for like an hour with this guy. So while I'm sitting there eating and just enjoyed a good conversation. So that's one thing that I've found is that, and like was said, everybody's like a family there.
Yeah.
So just walk into the lunch area, sit down with somebody you don't know, have a good conversation, because odds are it's going to be a fantastic conversation. If you go again, you're going to end up seeing the person again, and you're going to have a new friend. So it really is a great time. Yeah.
It's a one-of-a-kind thing, and it's a lot of fun to be a part of it for sure. Yeah. Great comments here. Take your time, look at every booth, stay hydrated. Hydrated seems to be a common theme here. Jeremy Lindsay asked, Greg, have you got your truck loaded? Jeremy, we've got all the skids staged, and we'll be loading out the first of next week, and we'll see you then. That's going to be awesome. Let's see. James Lee, I'm sure he'll be there. He'll be a great guy to go bend his ear. He's up in Michigan, is really into the treatment-free, within reason approach. So he'd be a great guy for you guys to seek out and have a chat with. And we're proud that he's got some EnduroHive bottom boards that he's working with. So that's pretty cool. Bruce, I want to thank you for the super chat tonight. That is awesome. Brian, thank you also for the super chat. Nature's Image Farm booth 215. Great tip here from Pastor Larry at Hallelujah Bee Farm. Whatever vehicle you plan to bring, double the size of it. We took all the rear seats out of our XL Suburban last year, ended up renting a U-Haul trailer to drag it back. You will get caught up in the excitement, and you'll get caught up in the wheeling and the dealing and all that stuff going on. And you'll say, oh, it'll fit. And then you'll be the guy. And I saw 4 of those guys, and you know who you are, and you're out there. Oh gosh, this is the last story I'll leave before we start to wind it down. So we had a fellow bought like 12 skids of product last year. We're out there helping him get his big box trucks loaded up. And I heard it before I saw it. And I don't mean anything by this, and I got to be careful. I know she's probably not watching this. And she's probably not taking her precious time up listening to the replays. So I could probably say this and not get into too much trouble, respectfully. But fellas, sometimes when it's somebody else, it's not. I won't say it's funny, right? But sometimes you can hear a little bit of marital discomfort or discourse kind of happening off in the distance. You can kind of just hear the tone going back and forth, and you just know someone's sleeping on the couch for sure that night. Well, here we are loading up this truck, and I heard it. Like, it wasn't the words, but it was the frequency, and it was the sound, and it was the timbre. Right. And I heard the response and the grumbling, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, mama's not happy. What did Papa Bear do? And I go and look, and this dude's got a hatchback. And nothing against the hatchback, but he's got a hatchback like jammed full of stuff, and he's trying to slam the hatchback closed, and you can hear stuff breaking. Right. Right. And he finally gets this thing closed, and you know that door is probably never going to open again. And he's so proud of himself. And he said, see, I told you I would get it. And then she got quiet and she got calm. And she says, well, what about that stack next to the car? And he looks over, and he had some expletives. He thought he was in there. He had another pile of stuff that was not going to fit anywhere. And now that door is probably not going to open. So when in doubt, man, just get a trailer. Con a buddy on bringing his big do something. You just it's hard to budget for those things, time and space and all that. But anyways, yeah, what a great tips there, guys. I could literally spend all night long talking about all these things. One of the things that Bruce mentioned it earlier, the reason I played that old intro, that intro is actually I put that together after the first conference that we were at, and it was such a powerful time where this thing was growing. It wasn't where it was right now, but the sense of community and fellowship and brotherhood was unbelievable, and you could feel it. And that's where Bruce and Brian and I really had met, literally the first time in person, and that was a powerful connection. I mean, it really was. Look at us, 3 years later, right? Here we are. And when I met you guys, there was just, sometimes you just know, you've got that feeling about somebody. I wouldn't have thought we would still be rambling on 3 years later, but you just knew, hey, here's a guy that I respect. Here's a guy that I don't know his details. I don't know his story, but I've got an enormous amount of respect for this guy on how he handles himself, how he talks, how he presents, the time he gives to others. And both of you guys are that kind of guy. And so here we are, 3 hours.
3 hours later,
hydration. I'm 3 years later, man, on all this, and so many of the folks. When I look back at that video, I keep forgetting to announce this, and there's so many other things I want to talk about. We don't have time tonight, but be sure to stop by booth 215, because we are once again doing something that we are known for, and that is the signed community hive. Make sure you stop by and sign the community hive. We're going to stack them up as tall as they'll go. We're going to stack them up, and we're going to bring them, because that hive is going to the youth scholarship, and it's going to be auctioned off. So it's going to help out the next round of beekeepers. So make sure you stop by our booth and be a part of this community. Sign the hive. Be a part of that. Be a part of something greater than ourselves. It's something that we can all do just by putting your name on these boxes, is saying, hey, I want to see someone down the road do better. I want to be able to give these kids an opportunity to learn beekeeping. I want to pass that torch on. I want to be a lighthouse to somebody. An easy way you can do it, stop by booth 215 and sign the stack of boxes. Those boxes are going to go into the scholarship, the silent auction, and we're really going to be able to pay it forward that way. That's a really important thing that we're doing. We're collaborating with Hives for Heroes for a couple other things as well. We're going to also we're going to do our best to bring as much edutainment to you as possible. Some hands-on learning. The Learning Yard Live at booth 215. Bruce and Brian and I will be there. Jason Crook from Bohemian Bees. We have a huge list of just top shelf speakers and manufacturers of products that we're also going to be collaborating with. That full schedule, keep an eye out on our website, naturesimagefarm.com. Click on the Learning Yard tab. We're going to post the schedule there. It's going to be awesome. Guys, as we wrap this up, we could spend all night and just barely scratch the surface of what this means to us. But here in closing, Brian, you have any final thoughts about surviving the Bee Expo? Tips, tricks, and what folks should keep in mind?
Oh man, no, just enjoy it. That's it. 2 words: enjoy it.
Yep. Bruce, what about you?
Yeah, I think Chris Medeiros said it best. He said, just have fun, visit everybody, just, kind of like what we've talked about. I would like to, we got Christmas coming up a week from tonight or today. So just try to be in the excitement about the Bee Expo and getting ready and ramped up for that. Let's just try and take some time to remember what Christmas is all about and to focus on that. I think that's important to do, but exciting times. Look forward to seeing everybody.
Absolutely. Tom here, Sosman. Melissa didn't give him much time to talk. I know we're going to try to make up for that short story longs at Boo 215, Greg and Tom. Hey, that'll be fun. Great point here. You forgot prayer. That is what I'm doing. My morning mode is it's my black coffee. It's my toast with honey, toast with peanut butter, toast with butter. Yeah, 3 pieces. I'm a knucklehead. And my Bible. And I get in there and I just get on the path. I get on track from the very beginning of my day, because the last 3, 4, 5 weeks have just been nothing but chaos, and they will continue to be until we're past the expo. And if you're not careful, you will find yourself sideways, and you will find yourself chasing your tail, and you will find yourself just in that place where you need that peace, you need that direction, you need the clarity. And so, Tom, great point. Prayer, the most important thing that you can 100% do here, for sure. I just want to keep talking. I can't do it. We can't do it. But we are looking forward to seeing you guys in person at the Bee Expo, booth 215. It's going to be absolutely awesome. And just really appreciate you guys. Let's see. Okay, Chris Medeiros just texted. Does anybody have any questions for Chris Medeiros? Bruce or Brian, if you need to jump on or jump off, you can totally do that. I'm going to see if I can send Chris a link. He's going to have some inside info about the expo that folks I think are probably going to want to have.
A link if you want me to send it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, while we're waiting on that, Greg, there is a video I think we've mentioned before on here with Christmas. I'm kind of going to go back to Christmas here for a second.
Yeah, for sure.
The Christ Child. It's on YouTube. Just type in the Christ Child. I think for anyone who hasn't seen that, it's worth a look. It's about 15 or 20 minutes of the most, I don't know how to even describe it. Unless you watch it, you just can't understand. It's just an incredible video that's been out there for a couple of years now. And it's my favorite Christmas video of all time. And it's just it just kind of sucks you in. You almost feel like you're there. It's really good stuff. So if you get a chance, if you're interested in watching that, it's a great video that'll really kind of help you focus on what Christmas is all about. And you'll feel the spirit of Christmas for sure after you watch it.
We're going to get Chris on Medeiros. He's got to make sure he's got to brush his hair. He's got to look the part. He's got to get all, fired up to get on here. But if you guys have any specific questions, logistics, timing, all those kind of things, let's get our money's worth out of Chris tonight. All the tough questions, all the hard answers, right? Let's really just put it to, let's make him, I heard he just got a pay raise. He got a pay raise. He's living it up. Let's let him earn his keep. Oh, wait, there he is. Oh, speaking of top earners, Chris. The Expo Wizard.
Good evening, everybody. Good
How's
evening.
It going?
It's going well. We're finishing our last touches, posters, signs, all that fun stuff. So exciting times for sure. Hey, you were trying to do the math. I'll help you. Where we have our trade show is 130,000 square feet. So
that's still, how do you convert that into football fields? I don't know.
A lot. I think they said at one point when they at one point during February, I believe, they convert the entire place into basketball courts. And I want to say they said they fit like 150 basketball courts.
What?
Yeah, I'm not sure how they find the
I might have
referees.
been way off in a football field by a
people
football field. That's probably off a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Wow.
So,
Well, Chris,
yeah,
what are some hot tips you want folks to know? Logistics, check in, some things that we can help get the word out that'll help all of that be easier for you and them as they get in and rock and roll here.
Yeah, for sure. So just a reminder for John Hill's amazing carts, and anyone else's amazing carts. Unfortunately, most of those carts are going to have to go out the back. Security, legitimate expo security will stand at the front and have. I don't have the new expo guide, but here's last year's with the wrong date. We have the right date this year. They'll be standing there. Yeah. We have 2013. Yeah, it's a whole thing. They'll be standing at the door and be able to help people find trade show stuff. But they'll also be reminding people that they can't go in the lobby with their carts. So that's just something. We will have signs from the front entrance to the back, the quickest way, because if you haven't driven the gigantic loop around the entire thing, you just get lost. It just goes on and on forever. There's an amusement park and a water park over there too. Not open, but it's over there. So we will have signs when you come in for pickup as well as semis to kind of show you exactly where to go. So people can follow that if they're trying to go into the back and pick up items. So that's there. Of course, everyone gets an expo guide. We have a lot of signs being made. I'm making them as we speak. Lots of great speakers this year. The food will actually be, as you kind of alluded there, there's no food court in the expo this year because we have, I think it was like almost 40 new vendors this year. It'll actually be next door. So we'll probably have a couple of the air wall doors open. So basically right next to the bathrooms, well, north of the bathrooms there, you can walk through those air doors and the food will be right there. So that'll be nice. So you'll be close to the bathrooms and the food, hopefully unrelated, but just bathrooms and food. But yeah, that's all there. And then as you saw too, that the back there, you have a lot of storage areas too, which I know you and a lot of other people will be using. So people who pick stuff up will likely pick up stuff from the back and be able to walk straight out. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. Yeah, my tip was, yeah, you're correct. Yeah, definitely comfortable shoes. Something that the people really and I know is kind of hinted on, but it is really, really dry in the trade show. You will get chapped lips. You will have a dry throat. So beyond keeping hydrated and everything, like definitely like chapstick or anything like that. Lotion for your hands. It's just really dry. Maybe the more waxed at boxes we get, maybe the less all the woodenware will suck water in.
Never know.
I don't know. So, yes. So we're working. we're always working on stuff. So yes, great question. Thank you, Marianne or Larry. It says Marianne, but whoever's on. Very soon in the next, I think it's a couple days, we'll be releasing an entry form for people who are going to, I don't remember the exact number. I think it was 3, maybe 5, but several entries into the honey show. The whole thing, not necessarily just honey, but the whole honey show. You will be able to enter in early. And that means you'll be able to there's some coffee, some donuts ready and everything else. The trade show will not be available. We will not have any speakers. So if you're not able to be there early, you're not missing anything. It's just kind of a social time and allows us to get some people in a little bit early, a little less stressful, all that kind of stuff. So that will be coming soon. It'll be posted in the Facebook group, on the website. Cayman will probably have lots of short videos and a lot of things coming, including the workshops. We still have the microscope workshop and the comb honey workshop details coming, as well as registration. And of course, those are limited. Unfortunately, we can't offer them to everybody. That's just, microscopes are really expensive, let alone just, this is going to be very intimate. I mean, each class, I believe, has 2 to 3 instructors, at least the microscope class. Etienne's going to be there. I believe Kara Wagner is going to help. And bias, my dad is actually helping, who's a science teacher of, 100 years. I'm sure he didn't hear me say that stuff. So you have very knowledgeable people there who are going to be able to help with that and do a lot of really cool hands-on teaching. So that's something we've always wanted to get into, is more hands-on, very direct stuff. you know, obviously it's hard to like do queen rearing and all that kind of stuff like in person with people. That's tough. So this is our first little foray into that. So, yeah. So, Cowan. So Cowan's Cowan is not doing as large of a display this year. Obviously, last year, if you guys were there, it was massive. There were some forklift fees that were expensive. So to remedy that, they're bringing different things this year. So they will still be there. They'll still be able to do some cool stuff, just not as large of a display. So still trying to kind of figure all that out. So there will be signs everywhere that show the floor plan. The one we sent out had like logos, and I know it's small. It's tough. It's such a large thing. But we will have numbers, like maps with numbers, as well as like literally next to it, the vendors with the numbers, so you can match stuff. So that'll all be available. I think we have like 6 pairs of those being put up all over, including next to the coffee area as well, because we know everyone loves to hang out at the coffee and see Billy Joe, you know, stand on his head and make everyone laugh. So, yeah, so it'll be a great time. Yeah, trying to see if anybody else.
Chris, what's one of the most frequently asked questions that you get as you lead up to this thing?
Parking, you know, unfortunately, we are at a large expo. We are at the mercy of a large expo. The fun handshake, you know, we make sure we help everyone stuff kind of, unfortunately, is very much out of our control. So the parking is what it is. There is a weekend pass, and I don't have the pricing because of course they screwed it up on the website, as they didn't even have the dates of our conference right on the website. So when you get there the first day, if you were going to drive your car in multiple times, highly recommend you get the like weekend pass. It will be cheaper than buying it every single day. It should be. But other than that, you know, and there's plenty of parking. There is parking not only. Do I have a good view of that? There's parking not only in the front. This doesn't have a good view of it. So there's parking in the front where we've kind of talked about, which is Lobby A, and it has a giant sign. North Wing Lobby A. When you drive straight in, Gate A, as Cayman alluded in his video he posted this week, that, you know, you can park right there. There is parking around on the backside as well, and you can come in a different way if you think you want to play that game. But again, I will warn you, the Circle Drive, Championship Drive, or whatever it's called, all the way around, it is one way. So if you turn out and you went too far or didn't go far enough, you're going all the way around. So it's
the drive of shame.
Thing. Yeah. So, you know, parking stuff. Chris, touch on bringing vendors into the building. Sure. I can touch on that. So real quick, I'll make this real short because this probably doesn't appear to most people, but vendor wise. So again, we're held to the expectations and contract of the companies. So starting at 10 a.m. on the first 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. is load in for all vendors. Anything before that has to be loaded into a completely separate room. No setup, no nothing. We are not able to get vendors into the room before 10 a.m. on the first. And then on the second, the morning before Thursday morning, but before everyone comes in, from 8 until 12, you're also able to get in to do any last minute setup, all that kind of stuff. I don't have any printouts of all the cool new name tags from this year. But I'm making them at work. They're pretty cool. We have a die cut machine, and we're paying for them at work. So, thank you to Mother Marathon. They're color coded. So we have to have some pretty tight security. So if you're not a vendor and you don't have a vendor pass, you'll be held to attendee standards. And we have, you know, this year we have single day passes available for Friday and Saturday. So those people have different colors versus just the attendees that have a full pass. Can you bring? Can you bring Doc?
Oh, come on, So it's an inside joke. JW has a beautiful donkey.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Donkey's going to
not
come
to
and
the
escort.
expo.
Are
They do
animals
have,
allowed inside of the expo?
no, but
Asking for a friend.
but I will say though that that is the knock that everyone said, that all the organizers of the Louisville Convention Center, it's okay, no problem. Is that this is very animal friendly facility, but unfortunately for us, we don't have that contracted. So yeah, we're animal free. So
Are eagles considered an animal?
Yes.
Asking for a friend.
You're an emotional response.
Eagles or falcons. Yes. Owls, falcons,
It all
cats,
counts.
dogs.
Yeah, man.
We will, and again, hopefully nobody needs it, but unfortunately, a couple times last year we needed medics. We of course have medics there. Yeah, bathrooms. There were again, this is my lovely handy dandy thing here. So this is our trade show. These are our speaking rooms. Right at the bottom here, there's like another lobby. But in that lobby, there's nothing. We don't do anything down here. But these are our speaking rooms here. At the end, we're going to have our silent auction right down this entire hallway. It's going to be awesome. Right here are also water bottle filling stations as well. So if there's, if Brian causes, a 6-person line for water bottle filling, there are other places.
He would do that.
Have that. So
he would do that.
Yes. So
Brian's actually the guy who goes to a water fountain and just puts his mouth over the whole water fountain. There's a whole line of people and they're just disgusted. It's a whole thing. We're working with them on
help it that I bring an 890-ounce bottle.
That's right.
Help that.
Yeah. So no, the last thing, and I got to run. Unfortunately I have a sick kiddo, but what I said before was, make time, look at every booth. What I learned early on was I have a list of like what my equipment is and what I know that I need for the following year, and everything else. And so I go through and look at stuff and like, hey, I want to get into swarms, and hey, this guy has a really cool swarm catcher that raises up into a tree. Hey, this, there's so many cool things that that are out there that not every single vendor who's coming is great at social media or marketing or advertising, but they have a great product. So I really encourage everyone to just take it slow, walk through the expo, talk to people. You hear someone say the word Ohio, run over and talk to them, or wherever you're from, the state. So yeah, it's a great time, and really just walk through and make sure you see every single booth. There's so many really cool, unique things available for everyone. So
awesome.
Chris,
real
quick, Chris, what's the weather supposed to be like? Do we know?
It's 2 weeks out.
80 degrees and sunshine.
Yeah.
Bring your suntan screen.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll be ready. I'll be prepared for cold, but maybe it won't be too cold.
Yeah. We'll see.
All right.
Cool.
We'll definitely the Bee Expo has their merch booth. We have some new merch, nothing crazy, just a little bit of merch. So we have some unique things that we didn't have last year. Sweatshirts, pins, some stickers, just some light stuff. Again, our team is razor focused on making sure that the expo is amazing. A little bit of merch on the side is just kind of fun at this point. So I figured it'd be nice to hop on Safe Cayman's voice a little bit. He's in full prep mode. So anything anyone needs, feel free to pop into somewhere, tag me. I'm happy to help. If I don't know an answer, I'll certainly be able to link you in. So thank you guys for the time. Appreciate it.
Chris,
see you guys in
thanks for jumping on. And hey,
2 weeks.
This what you guys do, you, Jeremy, Jake, the whole crew. It's often very thankless, but we want to say thank you to you guys for all the work that you're doing and digging in to make all this happen for all of us. You guys are awesome. We really appreciate you, and looking forward to seeing you running like a chicken with his head cut off, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
That's me.
We'll see you soon.
That's me. All right. Thank you guys.
Merry Christmas. We'll see you, bud.
Merry Christmas.
It almost sounds like they have everything dialed in.
The only thing that's the way. If Fred Dunham was here, we could say that is the way to be.
See?
Well, hey, we could go on all night talking about stuff, but I want to thank everybody for all the pre-order support. There is not much left available that we can even get on the truck for the pre-orders. You have until 11:59 tonight, and then we are cutting it off. We've got to. What a phenomenal year on pre-orders. EnduraHive Wax Dip, you guys have supported that in a big, big way. From our entire family, we cannot thank you guys enough for choosing EnduraHive Wax Dipped equipment. It means so much to us. It gives us the opportunity to be able to give and to be a part and to collaborate and do a lot of things too. And so the buck just doesn't stop here at the farm. It goes on and on and on. And that is really important to us. And I hope that's really important to you. So you guys are awesome. We really appreciate you. Again, Nature's Image, booth 215. The stream team will be there. A lot of great collaborations are going to be there. The top names, the top brands. You're only going to find it at 215. It's going to be awesome. Come check out EnduraHive Wax Dipped equipment and a brand new wax dip product, the likes of which have never been seen. It's going to be awesome. Queen Right dial, including some limited edition tools to help you with your queen rearing. You're going to find it at booth 215. Jason from Bohemia Bees will be there as a sales guy the entire time. Brian will be there. Bruce will be coming in and out. Our entire crew. Man, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be where it's at, is at 215th, that entire Shenanigan Central. It's going to be awesome. Don't miss it. Cannot wait to see you guys there. It's going to be so much fun. I want to wish you guys Merry Christmas. Guys, next Wednesday is Christmas, and I love you guys, and I love all of our listeners, but there's no way we're going to be on here on Christmas night. So I would say we're probably going to be off on Christmas. If we were to be on, would be on Bruce's channel. We'll probably hold that off until we all get back from the expo, and then kind of just do like a recap chat. Maybe that makes more sense.
I think that's right. Yes.
Sound good? Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, hey guys, thank you so much. I cannot thank you guys. You guys are awesome. You've really made this special this year, and we cannot thank you enough. We'll see you real soon. I want to remind you that Jesus is the reason for the season to be the lighthouse and be the change that you want to see in this world. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.